Well, it's open source, so everything is open source. The hardware, the software is open source. We also try to use as many open libraries and tools as possible. So, for example, we use BDK. So most of the logic is actually just BDK.
What is 22?
So yeah, my name is Alekos. I've been working on Bitcoin for a bunch of years now, since 2017. I've worked with Giacomo, then Blockstream, then I launched a project called BDK, Bitcoin Dev Kit, which is like a library for building Bitcoin wallets. And lastly, my last thing, my new project is this company called 22. I'm the CEO and also main engineer of the company. And we build, right now we only have one product, which is an hardware wallet, mobile optimized hardware wallet. And we also plan to launch a bunch of new other products at some point. But yeah, so long history in Bitcoin.
What is unique about the Portal hardware wallet?
There's a few reasons. The main one was that we thought there was like a gap in the market. We thought there was the need for a mobile optimized product because that's where most people are. So especially like the average users, they don't use desktops, they only have smartphones, so they all use that. And we felt like the existing solutions are not good enough for mobile. So that's why we kind of decided to make our own. We try to, well, it's open source, so everything is open source. The hardware, the software is open source. We also try to use as many open libraries and tools as possible. So for example, we use BDK. So most of the logic is actually just BDK. So it's a library that has been battle tested for a few years now. So we just kind of packaged everything, so BDK, a bit of UI on top, and package everything in a smartphone-friendly format.
How does it work?
So, I mean, it's this thing here, weird shape. It's much bigger than people think it is. But yeah, so it's based on NFC. So there are a few other NFC signers or hardware wallets as well. Those are usually the card formats kind of thing. So it's just kind of a device you tap to your phone and it signs. The main difference with ours is we still use NFC, which is like this big antenna here. This is the NFC coil, the NFC antenna, but we also have a display. So the way it works is you tap your phone on the big antenna, on the round part, and you can see all the details of the transaction you're signing on the screen there. And that's kind of the main innovation. So we think NFC is super cool, super easy to use, but the existing solutions based on NFC, they don't give you this kind of feedback. They don't have a display, so you're just signing something. You don't know what you're signing. So our kind of innovation is, let's use NFC. And we also use NFC for power, which is pretty cool. So there's no batteries or anything in the device. You just tap it. The phone is going to power it like wirelessly, and then you can see and sign.
Does tapping my cold storage hardware wallet onto my internet connected phone make it become hot storage?
The fact that you're tapping it doesn't necessarily like spread, I would say, I don't know, malware or whatever from your phone to the device. Every hardware wallet has some kind of communication channel between your smartphone, whether it's your smartphone or your computer. You need to transfer data over to the hardware wallet and then back. So every hardware wallet has some way of doing this. In my opinion, the most kind of dangerous ones are Bluetooth and USB. Because those are very complicated tech stacks. Because think about Bluetooth, you can do audio over Bluetooth, you can do text, you can do many different protocols. So they are like very complicated from a technological perspective, and it means that they're also more subject to vulnerabilities and issues. NFC, on the other hand, is like a very simple protocol. So in my opinion, it's comparable to like QRs, for example, or even some people use micro SDs. You put the transaction on the micro SD and then so yeah, NFC is just another way of communicating. In my opinion, it's a pretty secure one, better than USB and Bluetooth for sure. And it's super convenient. So yeah, I think it pairs really well with smartphones because it's just tap it and it goes.
So one could say NFC is an extra layer of security.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, it's not one of the security features, but if you want to compare it with other devices, maybe it's not as good as QR codes. Probably that's the best, the most secure. But it's also very inconvenient, in my opinion, because you have to like keep switching, and the cameras are always shitty and they don't work. So, yeah, maybe QR codes are better. I would say NFC is better than USB and Bluetooth, which is the most, I don't know, which are the most common kind of channels that people use. And yeah, I don't see it as a security issue at all. Yeah,
What are, in your opinion, the main elements to make a hardware wallet secure?
different people have different opinions. My opinion is you definitely need a display, so you definitely need to let the user see what they're signing. I think that's kind of the prerequisite. Otherwise, you're just isolating the keys, but it's still like a blind signer. So that's, in my opinion, probably the biggest, most important thing. Otherwise, you're just trusting your smartphone. So you might as well just keep the keys there and be done with it. Which is also why we spent a lot of effort putting a display in our device. On top of that, yeah, I mean, it's not really a component of the device, but I think it's also very important that it's open source because that means people can audit the code, can audit the hardware. So yeah, I would say probably the main factors I would look for is open source and yeah, display. That's probably the biggest, the most important one.
Would you say having just one hardware wallet to store your Bitcoin is enough?
I mean, ideally, you should have multiple from multiple vendors so it's not the best solution, obviously, but you should also consider the complexity of having many devices and making them work together. So I think for most people, normal people, that's probably more than enough. So you just have one device. It's already much better than keeping the keys on your phone or your laptop. And it should be, yeah, I think it should be secure to like up to $100,000. I don't know. When you start getting into the hundreds or millions of dollars, then yeah, you should really consider multi-sig setups, ideally with different devices from different vendors, so you also protect yourself from potential backdoors in one specific device. But that also carries a lot of complications. So it's not for everybody, and you probably need somebody to help you set it up and to manage it.
What is next for 22?
Yeah, so we have, I think, a few cool ideas we are considering. So we're still kind of keeping it quiet, stealth mode, I guess. So, I mean, for once, obviously, we're going to bring Portal forward. So that's, it's already working pretty well. We're working with integrations. We're working on integrations with a bunch of wallets. So we have Blue Wallet working on it, Green working on it, Keeper, they should announce it these days. So it's pretty much done. So on one end, yeah, Portal is going to keep going. We're considering a few adjustments. So maybe there's going to be a Portal v1.1, or we don't even want to call it v2 because it's not any big changes. And on the other end, yeah, we have a few ideas that are more on the payment side. So we see Portal as long-term storage, long-term cold storage for your savings. So it's not a device that you use every day. So on the other end, we're also considering more daily use cases. So we have some cool ideas there. So it's Lightning, eCash, and stuff like that. But yeah, we're not still working on it. So it's still early to say. But yeah.
Will future Bitcoin protocol changes improve your devices or hardware wallets in general?
That's a really good question. Off the top of my head, I cannot really think about any. And my philosophy is more like, let's make the most out of what we have. So I'm not really, there's people that get involved in these discussions, and we should upgrade this, we should do that. I'm much more of well, this is what we have, let's just use it, let's just make the most out of it. So yeah, I mean, obviously covenants would be cool, you can do vaults, but I don't really care about that. So my point is, maybe one day we're gonna have them, and I will use them, but until then, I just use what we have today, which is still, plenty of tools that we're not even really using to the most, to the full potential yet. So yeah, I would say no. Maybe something cool is gonna come, but we don't need something to happen for us.
What keeps you coming back to Lugano?
I love the city, love Switzerland. Everything is clean, organized. I love that.
What is the best Bitcoin circular economy in the world?
Plan B, obviously.
What is the thing you like the most about Lugano's Plan B Forum?
It's a big conference close to home, so it's nice to see all those people in, well, not Italy, but at least in an Italian-speaking part of the world. It's super cool.
What do you think about Tether's evolution in the past 10 years?
I think it's great. I think it's obviously a super useful tool because people need, ideally at some point people are going to move to Bitcoin, but I think Tether is good like in between. while you start your journey into self-custodying assets, but you want to protect yourself from volatility of Bitcoin. And also in some countries, it's like a key part of the economy by now. So I think it's crazy. I think they're doing a great job. Yeah, it's one of the most profitable companies in the world, which is crazy. So they're like the best. Yeah.